I just know that, like your father, he went to military school, and I went to military school. And notice the people that have had really tough mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual training, they're tougher.
Yeah.
So I came out of the academy, like your dad. He went in the Navy, I went in the Marine Corps, and we come out tougher, internally stronger.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how you guys get that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I call it spiritual intelligence at this point. And then, let me draw this picture. You guys have seen it before. But again, if you look at it this way, this is intelligences. And this is what makes us up. This makes us human beings. We have mental intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
We have physical intelligence. Like Tiger Woods is a fantastic golfer. I suck, And then you have emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence, they call it EQ, is the most important. Because I get my feelings hurt all the time. I get angry. I hallucinate in my head. I think things that aren't true. But the biggest one of all is the spiritual. And difference between mental and spiritual, it's very simple. Mental causes two. So man, woman, good, bad, up, down. Where spiritual is one. So I'll give you an example. Why do I do my work? Mm-hmm. Yesterday I was driving down the road and I saw this young guy. God, just broke my heart. He's standing there in the hot Phoenix sun. He's just unemployed, need money to feed the kids and all that. Now, mentally I could say, well, get a job, you idiot, But spiritually, I am him. I feel for him. Yeah. So in my work, I work for this. I don't need the money.
Yeah.
But as my teacher was Dr. R. Buckminster Fuller. And he says, I don't work for me, I work for everyone. And that was one of the biggest lessons I got from the military. From the military was very high spiritual intelligence. That's why your dad and I get along so well. Because when we went into combat, which is a horrible experience of good and bad people, enemy and friends, But when we climbed into our aircraft, there was a crew of 5. We became one. It is the best feeling, as horrible as it is, flying into combat, because we might not come back. But it was the highest feeling of all. It was spiritual. And I'm afraid it's not just millennials, it's human beings, Well, is this good? Is this bad? Is this the best Vuitton shirt? Can I get it at a better price? Or he's cute or she's cute, But is there somebody better? Right?
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on.
So you guys are stuck in your head. And I think you should get more into your spirit, saying, what can I do for my fellow human being?
Yeah.
What can I do for the environment? And I think the biggest secret of my success is I have all, we all have these. We all have some degree of physical things we do. Yeah. Emotionally, I'm a basket case a lot of the time, I get upset, I get angry, I get sad, I get my feelings hurt. And I'm always, this is good, this is bad, this is, you watch politics, it's all good and bad, it's a bunch of BS. But what keeps me going is this, and it's spiritual.
Yeah.
Is how can I serve others? How can I serve the planet? How can I fix this problem? And millennials, it's not just millennials, it's just human beings in general. Yeah. If you can get back to being one, being compassionate, you'll always have idiots here. You'll always have idiots here and idiots here. But just stay in your spirit.
Yeah.
So like when I saw that guy, he's probably 45 years old, I couldn't imagine being a father saying, I need money for my kids. And, I gave him a few bucks, but it doesn't help.
No.
When I gave him a few bucks, I was just saying, hey, we're one.
Yeah.
I feel your pain. And so what's happening, I think, it's not just millennials, it's human beings are idiots,
Yeah.
We inflict a lot of pain. But this is spiritual intelligence, is how do we make it one? You know, like my love of trees. When I see people cutting down trees, I want to kill them.
Yeah.
I want to kill them. You know, but, and then the oceans, you know, it just breaks my heart because
Yeah.
I grew up in the oceans.
Oh, yeah.
So when we're in our spiritual, in our heart, in our silence of the brain, of the mind, then we're most effective. Like I said, I studied this book, Communist Manifesto. I read that at 19. I went to the academy, Merchant Marine Academy, and it's also appointed to a Naval Academy, but I took Merchant Marine Academy. But the most important thing is this: when I was flying this aircraft, we went down 3 times, crashed. We didn't get shot down. The aircraft was so tired, you know, you just kept falling out of the sky. But the thing that worked, we had the best team. You know, as soon as my engine quit, I was about 1,500 feet flying into North Vietnam, not north, but just south of the demilitarized zone. My engine quit. Immediately, what pilots do is they raise the nose generally. What they train us to do is dive the nose. And so the moment I did that, I heard my crew members, they were jettisoning all the cans of ammunition, dropping the machine guns and dropping the rocket pods. And we were in the water within like 10 seconds. But it was the most powerful team, young guys too, 2 pilots, 1 crew chief, and 2 young Marine gunners. We were a team. So what's going to get you through probably the next 10 years is how tight your friends are, how tight your team is. You know, so that's why I count you as one of my assets, because you allow me to speak. And as you know, our freedom of speech is being taken away, as this guy demanded. So it's going to depend upon who your friends are, you know, are they smart, are they stupid, and things like this. So when things happen, you know, you got to have a team. My team at Rich Dad is ungodly. They are such a high performance team. Small, we're only 10 people, but we kick ass wherever we go. And thanks a lot to my wife. My wife did a great job. You know, I wouldn't be here without Kim. And we're a tight team. Kim and I getting divorced, unfortunately. But your team right now is crucial. So the final words, as Marines say to each other, Semper Fi. Semper Fi means forever faithful. So let me say this before I begin, because we're talking about going to school or education, whatever that is to you. And education is more important than ever before. But the problem I have with school, traditional education, number one today is it's creating young people like you to be greatly in debt, right, with pension. I mean, not pension, but
Student loans.
subprime student loans.
Yeah.
You got subprime education. So education is more important than before, but what do they teach you about money?
Nothing.
So my point here is this: so education is important, but the thing I don't like about labeling a child or a student ADD, okay? ADD is another word for extreme boredom. Do you know, why don't they just call it what it is? A child doesn't have ADD. The teacher is boring. They're boring people. Why would I listen to them? So I had ADD, but I call it acute boredom. Then they say you have dyslexia. Well, what the heck is that? I had dyslexia because I was sound asleep. I was always drooling, you know. I mean, I couldn't believe how boring the teacher was. Yeah. On top of that, they were teaching me a subject I wasn't interested in. You know, when I had calculus and trigonometry, I kept going, when am I going to use this stuff, you know? So anyway, this is my point of view. Education is the only business that blames the customer for the teacher's incompetence. Let me say it again. Education is the only business where you're allowed to blame the customer for the teacher's incompetence. You see, in business, I can't do that. You know, if my students are failing or my customers are failing, then I'm responsible for it. But how in the world can these teachers get away with blaming their customers for the teachers and education system's incompetence? And let me say this one more time. Education is more important than before, but what the heck are you learning? That you're stupid. I was called stupid so many times. I almost went nuts. I flunked out of high school twice when I was 15 and 17 because I can't write. And today, I've sold more books than most teachers ever will. It's in the millions of books. So who was stupid? That's the whole point here is this. Kim and I retired. She was 37 and I was 47, 10 years apart. Took us 10 years. But all we did was get richer after that because we found our formula. And our formula wasn't go to school, get a job, work hard, save money, get out of debt, and invest in the stock market. That wasn't our, nothing wrong with that formula. It just wasn't our formula.
What was your formula?
Play Monopoly.
Yeah.
4 greenhouses, Red Hotel. And the McDonald's formula of our, as Ray Kroc said, who founded McDonald's is in the business of real estate and paying no taxes. So that's anyway, when Tom and Kenny and the other advisors come here, their job is going to twist your brain to see it differently. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. It's going to be a whole mind shift of what we've been taught. And
From
very
school.
non-traditional ways where sometimes when you think about not paying taxes or using debt, it's like, what are you even talking about? How?
Right.
And that's dangerous.
Because you've been taught to pay taxes and get out of debt, right?
Brainwashed, yeah.
Right. So what I'm glad you're starting on here is you bring in my advisors in. Remember, advisors are my teachers. They're not just telling me what to do. They're not experts. We work together, we plan together. Right now, Tom and I and Kenny, because Kenny is who I invest through using debt, and Tom would advise me on taxes. So that my game I play is not be a good employee and work hard and pay taxes. My game is to be a capitalist, to have my money and investments work hard for me, so I can make millions and millions of dollars and pay no tax. Now that drives a lot of people crazy, right? Become a professional investor. It's not easy, you gotta study a lot. But this is what I see coming. Okay, it's a financial statement. It's the balance sheet. What I'm concerned about for the millennials, okay? So here we have M for millennials. It's a lot of you. But over here we have today, boom, baby boomers, me. And what's going to happen is that it's going to be the flow of people. You guys are going to flow over here, and you'll be producing the income to pay the taxes and all this. These guys are going to come over here. We're going to be the biggest liabilities you've ever seen. They estimate that, and nobody knows the real number, but the estimations are this bill for all the social programs, the welfare programs, all the Social Security, retirement plans, and all this is estimated to be $265 trillion. You guys are going to have to pay for that. So when old guys like me move over here and you guys take over the economy here, what's going to happen is, go up. You have to pay taxes to pay for these guys. So that's why when I speak to young people and all this, I kind of joke around a lot and things like this. But this is a massive, 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 massive social problem. You know, like if your mother and father had no money, what would you have to do? You have to pay for them, right?
Yeah.
Can you afford their health care right now?
I don't think so.
You know, like I cut my finger here 2 years ago. The bill was $34,000 for one stitch. $34,000. That's where this comes. They're estimating. They don't know how much this is going to be. Total, all the national debt and all this. And as we're talking, you know, they can't balance. They need to extend the budget to pay for our bills and all this. And it's only going to get worse. So when I speak to your generation, our generation had it really easy. We're going to cruise over here. You guys have had it pretty hard, and it's going to get worse, is my opinion. So that's why the idea of go to school, get a job, work hard, save money, get out of debt, put in a 401k, that was my generation. It didn't work for us, but you guys are going to try the same thing.